Hello and welcome to the channel. I am Poonam Dua and with me today you are going to analyze and understand 2021 MEG02 British Drama question paper along with all the suggested answers. I hope आप सभी ने बाकी सब्जेक्ट्स के एनालिसिस देख लिए हैं. अगर नहीं तो आप डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए लिंक पर रिस्पेक्टिव सब्जेक्ट्स के एनालिसिस चेक कर सकते हैं. चलिए वीडियो की शुरुआत करते हैं. एंड बिफोर दैट प्लीज डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब द चैनल. You may also visit our website to know the respective courses that we are running. Let us see the format of the question. Answer number 1, which is compulsory. Any 4 from the remaining question. All questions carry equal marks, that is 20. हर क्वेश्चन के 20 मार्क्स होंगे. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन कंपलसरी है और बचे हुए क्वेश्चन में से आपको कोई 4 क्वेश्चंस करने हैं. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखिए. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन में आपको किन्हीं 4 आरटीसीज को आंसर करना है, आइडेंटिफाई करना है, उस पैसेज के बारे में कुछ लिखना है. तो बहुत ज़रूरी हो जाता है कि आप अपने प्लेस को थोड़ा सा डिटेल में करें जिससे कि आरटीसीज को आइडेंटिफाई कर पाए इजीली, क्योंकि 20 मार्क्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. यहाँ पर ऑप्शन नंबर ए. ओ दैट दिस टू solid flesh would melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against self-slaughter. Oh God, oh God. ये लाइंस ली गई हैं हैमलेट से, बोली भी गई हैं हैमलेट नाम के कैरेक्टर के द्वारा ही. हैमलेट is principally saying here that he wishes that his solid, that is dirty, impure flesh would melt and evaporate into dew before he mourned the fact that God has created a law against suicide, that is self-slaughter. Because of his father's recent death and his mother's swift remarriage to Claudius, Hamlet is obsessed with things being diseased or rotten. उनको लगता है कि आसपास के environment में कुछ ना कुछ diseased है, कुछ ना कुछ rotten है. He is not able to accept the sudden death and sudden remarriage, and he is finding all this to be very immoral. He wished that his body would just melt, turn to water and become a dew. और he also wishes कि काश भगवान ने सेल्फ स्लॉटर यानी कि सुसाइड के अगेंस्ट कोई रूल, कोई कैनन नहीं बनाया होता. ये लाइंस देखिए. When I behold the heavens, then I repent and curse thee, wicked Mephistopheles, because thou hast deprived me of those joys. Famous lines from Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe. Mephistopheles, ये वर्ड देखकर ही आप इन लाइंस को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. फॉस्टर्स इन लाइंस में कंटेम्पलेट कर रहे हैं कि उनको रिडम्पशन के लिए जाना चाहिए या नहीं. एंड ही वेरी क्विकली ब्लेम्स मेफिस्टोफेलिस फॉर डिप्राइविंग हिम ऑफ हेवन. सभी स्टूडेंट्स ने इस प्ले को पढ़ते हुए गुड एंजल बैड एंजल के बारे में पढ़ा होगा, और ये सीन गुड एंजल बैड एंजल के सीन से थोड़ा सा ही पहले अकर होता है ये डायलॉग्स. सो दिस सीन एंड बाउट ऑफ डाउट्स अकर्स इन द हार्ट एंड माइंड ऑफ डॉक्टर फॉस्टर्स बिफोर द सीन ऑफ गुड एंजल एंड बैड एंजल. Faustus is doubtful of his decision of signing the pact with devil and asking Mephistopheles that whenever I think about heaven, I feel that your wickedness and arguments are pushing me towards this pact. You are deriving me out of the joys of heaven. But Mephistopheles says in reply that on earth, life on earth is better than life on heaven, because heaven is made for humans. How can it be better than human life then? और इसके बाद ही गुड एंजल्स और बैड एंजल्स का डिबेट होता है. गुड एंजल persuaded Faustus to repent and remember God, and bad angel pushes him towards Satan to the enjoyment of 24 years, और bad angel ही victorious भी होता है. Look at these lines. Option C. There aren't any good brave causes left. If the Big Bang does come and we all get killed off, it won't be in aid of the old-fashioned grand design. It will just be for the brave. New, nothing very much. Thank you. These lines spoken by Jimmy Potter in the play Look Back in Anger, playwright John Osborne. There are not any good brave causes left. Look Back in Anger से ली गई quote है. This quote demonstrates a central theme of the play, the way in which past and presents are intertwined, एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं. Jimmy often sees himself as a product of Britain's great past, its empires and conquests. जिमी हमेशा पास्ट में ही रहते हैं, पास्ट को ही ग्रैंड मानते हैं और वो कहते हैं कि इस जनरेशन के लोग बिल्कुल हॉलो है. आई सपोज पीपल ऑफ आवर जनरेशन आर नॉट एबल टू डाई फॉर गुड कॉजेज एनी लॉन्गर. वी हैड ऑल दैट डन फॉर अस इन द 30s एंड 40s. इस प्ले में 50s की सेटिंग दिखाई गई है और जिमी 30s और 40s को कंपैरेटिवली ग्लोरियस मानते हैं. व्हेन वी वर स्टिल किड्स, ही सेज, there are not any good brave causes left, and actually this is the extension of the dialogue. Why do we let these women bleed us to death? He says that it might be because people of our generation are not able to die for good causes any longer. We had all that done for us in 30s and 40s, and he falls back to the brooding mood that he has been in much of the play, and he observes there are not any good brave causes left. आजकल की दुनिया में bravery बची ही नहीं है. People are not dying for good causes. जो भी होना था अच्छा इस दुनिया में already हो चुका है. This means that there is nothing left for it, my boy, but to let yourself be butchered by the women. This is the word that he uses, butchered by the women. कि हम सब females के हाथों मारे जाएंगे. That is the only bravery that we can practice in today's time. Next one, option number D. Now is my way clear? Now is the meaning plain. Temptation shall not come in this kind again. The last temptation is the greatest reason to do the right deed for the wrong reason. Thomas Becket from T.S. Eliot's Murder in the Cathedral. These lines are taken from Thomas. Here spells out one of the play's main conflicts when he scolds the second priest for speaking harshly to the chorus right before his entrance. In this quote, he proposes a contrast between acting and suffering. Option number E. Women upset everything. When you let them into your life, you find that the woman is driving at one thing and you're driving at another. Taken from one of the most famous plays of G.B. Shaw, Pygmalion. In Act 2 of G.B. Shaw's play Pygmalion, Higgins says these lines. Higgins and Colonel Pickering discuss Higgins' true character with women. Higgins had declared that he has a huge problem with women because it seems as if males and females ultimately want to lead their own lives independently but are raised to believe that a married life will be just as independently experienced. Higgins greatly disagrees with the notion of marriage here, which is why he prefers to live alone. And in all, what Higgins detests the idea of making friends with women because Victorian women, according to him, Victorian women do not know how to keep a friendship with males under friendship terms. So that is the reason he is completely discarding women and saying women upset everything. अब शुरू होता है क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, जिसमें कि आपको क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 से आपको इंटरनल चॉइसेस भी मिलनी शुरू हो जाएंगी. आपको 2 पार्ट्स दिए जाएंगे जिसमें से आपको कोई एक करना होगा और एक्सटर्नल चॉइस तो है ही, दिए गए क्वेश्चंस में से कोई 4. तो काफ़ी ऑप्शंस होते हैं चॉइसेस के, उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप डिसाइड कर सकते हैं आपको कौन से प्लेस करने चाहिए. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डिस्कस बेन जॉनसन्स द एल्केमिस्ट एज अ कॉमेडी ऑफ ह्यूमर्स. सो फर्स्ट पार्ट के लिए इस पार्ट के लिए आपको कॉमेडी ऑफ ह्यूमर समझना पड़ेगा. आई हैव गिवन अ लिंक इन डिस्क्रिप्शन. प्लीज वॉच टू अंडरस्टैंड द टर्म कॉमेडी ऑफ ह्यूमर्स फर्स्ट. जॉनसन्स कॉमेडीज वर रिटन अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रिस्क्रिप्शन विच हैज earned them the label comedy of humors, the humors of which a man's body was supposedly compounded according to their relative predominance of few compositions. Ben Jonson applied the term humor metaphorically to what is now called a man's obsession or his complex. एल्केमिस्ट में भी उन्होंने यही किया, elaborate study की है ह्यूमन gullibility की, and the humor represented here is also the master passion of greed which afflicts all the events of the play. As Johnson points out in the prologue to The Alchemist, his purpose in representing such humor in his comedies was to make people realize their own shortcomings, follies, and absurdities, and thus to try to cure themselves and these undesirable humor. ये क्वेश्चन 2 का ही और पार्ट है. डॉक्टर फॉस्टर्स हम पहले भी कर चुके हैं, इससे रिलेटेड एक आरटीसी. एग्जामिन डॉक्टर फॉस्टर्स as a study of conflict with reference to the Christian faith. Dr. Faustus. Insofar as Dr. Faustus is a Christian play, it deals with the themes at the heart of Christianity's understanding of the world. The tragical history of the life and death of Dr. Faustus, written by Christopher Marlowe, first performed in 1604. ये सारी इंट्रोडक्शन भी आपको प्लेस के बारे में देनी जरूरी है. Most of these Elizabethan tragedies represent Christian point of view concerning the idea of God and Satan, so there is no questioning that this story is not about Christianity. This questions about the belief that God exists, and hence no suggestion towards atheism is there. Dr. Faustus, a Christian play है which dwells upon the themes which rest on the core of Christianity regarding the worldview about God and his attributes and even Satan. It suggests that any action that goes against the will and commandments of God is a sin. Faustus does think of having recourse in many scenes where good angel and sometimes the old man try to persuade him to change his mind. These entities may be taken as messenger of God and embodiment of Faustus' inner self as well. The readers get to see the inner conflict of the man who wants to choose between good and bad, but he chooses short-term happiness of 24 years, which is proved to be a sin by the end. Here comes question number 3. इसमें भी आपको internal choice है Murder in Cathedral और Midsummer Night's Dream के बीच में. Examine the role of chorus in Murder in the Cathedral. Murder in the Cathedral एक verse drama है by T.S. Eliot, and it was first performed in 1935 that portrays the assassination of Bishop Thomas Becket in Canterbury Cathedral during the rule of Henry II in 1170. ये सारी डिटेल आपको पता होनी चाहिए किसी भी प्ले के बारे में. The idea of chorus in Eliot's play is taken from Greek drama. The Greek tragic dramatists wrote religious dramas concerned with moral relations between God and men and usually had an instructive moral purpose. Performances were less an entertainment than a religious ceremony, and chorus were widely used by the writers. The chorus in Murder in the Cathedral is composed of ordinary women of Canterbury who are neither saints like Thomas Becket nor sinners like the knights. They are just like the audiences, onlookers who witness the drama and comment on it without intervening into any event. Made up of common women of Canterbury, the chorus represents the ordinary small folk of the town who look entirely to the church for spiritual guidance in their lives. Next question, इसी का और पार्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 का. What is the link between the main plot and the mechanicals play in A Midsummer Night's Dream? Explain. A Midsummer Night's Dream, each one of us know, is a comedy written by William Shakespeare 1595 or 96. The play is set in Athens and consists of several subplots that revolve around the marriage of Theseus and Hippolyta. One subplot involves the conflict between 4 Athenian lovers, Helena, Hermia, Demetrius, Lysander. Another follows a group of 6 actors rehearsing the play which they are to perform before the wedding. So we can say the Midsummer Night's Dream is primarily a humorous play. The mechanicals are 6 characters in Midsummer Night's Dream who perform the play within the play Pyramus and Thisbe. The main role of the mechanicals in Midsummer Night's Dream is to provide some kind of comic relief, which is often the case with lower class characters in Shakespeare's play. शेक्सपियर के प्ले में हमेशा कुछ लोअर क्लास कैरेक्टर्स हुआ करते हैं जो कि कॉमिक रिलीफ प्रोवाइड करते हैं पूरी स्टोरी को. द मेन गोल ऑफ द मैकेनिकल्स इज टू पुट on a tragic play Pyramus and Thisbe for the wedding of Theseus and Hippolyta, and Pyramus and Thisbe is a significant play because it reveals major influence on Shakespeare's writing and an essential element of the humor and success of Midsummer Night's Dream as well. The Shakespeare's version of Pyramus and Thisbe, the play within play, follows 2 young lovers whose family have forbidden them from being together, and the mechanicals attempt to act out the Ovid's version, Ovid के द्वारा लिखा गया Ovid's version of Pyramus and Thisbe, but they ultimately fail due to their ignorance and misinterpretation of the whole play, and they make the tragedy play a comic play. It is this failure that has ironically contributed to the comedic success of A Midsummer Night's Dream. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, इसमें भी आपके पास इंटरनल चॉइस भी है. कॉमेंट ऑन द नेचर एंड सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ द थीम ऑफ रिवेंज इन हैमलेट. हाउ डू द वेरियस कैरेक्टर्स इन द प्ले रेस्पॉन्ड टू द इशू ऑफ रिवेंज. सबसे पहले तो आपको यहाँ पर प्ले की इंट्रोडक्शन देनी होगी थोड़ी सी. एंड वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रिवेंज, तो हमें रिवेंज ट्रेजेडी के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को मेंशन करना होगा, जस्टिफाई करना होगा कि किस तरीके से हमारा ये प्ले हैमलेट रिवेंज की कैटेगरी में आता है. प्ले का पूरा नाम है द ट्रेजेडी ऑफ हैमलेट प्रिंस ऑफ डेनमार्क, जिसको कि कई बार शॉर्टन कर दिया जाता है हैमलेट से. दिस इज अ ट्रेजेडी रिटन बाय शेक्सपियर समटाइम्स बिटवीन 1599 एंड 1601, और इसको शेक्सपियर जी का लॉन्गेस्ट प्ले भी माना जाता है. मोर देन 29,000 वर्ड्स हैं इसमें. तो आइए जानते हैं रिवेंज के बारे में. अगर हम रिवेंज ट्रेजेडी की बात करें तो कुछ फीचर्स का होना उसमें ज़रूरी है. द वन इज द अवेंजर इज किल्ड, जो बदला ले रहा है वो भी मारा जाता है. विलेंस और विलेंस के साथ ही वो भी मारे जाते हैं. कोई ना कोई सुपरनैचुरल एलिमेंट होता है. प्ले विद इन द प्ले होता है और किसी ना किसी तरीके की मैडनेस होती है. तो यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं कि सभी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स फुलफिल हो रहे हैं. द एवेंजर इज किल्ड, हेमलेट जी भी मारे जाते हैं बाय द एंड. कुछ विलेंस मारे जाते हैं, विलेंस के कुछ साथी मारे जाते हैं जैसे कि क्लॉडियस एंड पोलोनियस. सुपरनैचुरल एलिमेंट हम गोस्ट की फॉर्म में देखते हैं. प्ले विद इन प्ले यहाँ पर है द मर्डर ऑफ गॉन्जेगो, जिसको कि माउस ट्रैप का नाम दिया था हेमलेट ने, और मैडनेस को भी पोर्ट्रे किया गया है. हेमलेट की ही मैडनेस दिखाई गई है. So, along with the revenge theme, we need to mention the characteristics of other characters too, to highlight Hamlet's inability to take action or not to take action. Shakespeare includes other characters capable of taking resolute and headstrong revenge as required. कुछ ऐसे कैरेक्टर्स को शेक्सपियर जानबूझकर लाते हैं जिससे कि हैमलेट को फील हो कि वो क्यों अपना रिवेंज नहीं ले पा रहे हैं. जैसे कि फोर्टिनब्रास है. फोर्टिनब्रास ट्रेवल्स मेनी माइल्स टू टेक हिज रिवेंज एंड अल्टीमेटली सक्सीड्स इन कॉन्करिंग डेनमार्क. लेटेस प्लॉट्स टू किल हैमलेट टू अवेंज द डेथ ऑफ हिज फादर पोलोनियस. बाकी सब कैरेक्टर्स को जो रिवेंज लेना है वो ले रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारे हैमलेट जी अपने रिवेंज को डिले कर रहे हैं. Compared to these characters, Hamlet's revenge is ineffectual. Once he decides to take action, he delays any action until the end of the play. Although he does ultimately kill Claudius in the final scene of the play, but it is not due to any scheme or plan made by Hamlet. Rather, it is Claudius' plan to kill Hamlet that backfires. तो हमें बाकी सब characteristics के बारे में, बाकी सब कैरेक्टर्स के बारे में भी लिखना होगा, जिससे कि हम हैमलेट की फीलिंग्स को, रिवेंज फीलिंग को और ज्यादा हाईलाइट कर पाए. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इसी क्वेश्चन का और पार्ट है, क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 का. द प्ले बॉय ऑफ द वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड डिपिक्ट्स द एवोल्यूशन ऑफ द हीरो. इलैबोरेट. द प्ले बॉय ऑफ द वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड एक 3-act प्ले है रिटन बाय आयरिश प्ले राइट जॉन सिंग एंड फर्स्ट परफॉर्म्ड एट द एबी थिएटर डबलिन. The play is best known for its use of poetic and evocative kind of language. The Playboy of the Western World एक study है on the nature of heroism, or you can say hero worship. As a rough and tumble stranger, Christy Mahon arrives in a small village in rural Ireland and quickly deemed as a hero, but loses the status in a matter of hours. In the Playboy of Western World, Singh satirizes the pursuit of man by women in his contemporary times. Question number 5 देखिए यहाँ पर. Beckett rejects the conventional structure of a play to depict the absurd predicament in Waiting for Godot. Discuss. और इसी के साथ और क्वेश्चन भी हम बाद में डिस्कस करते हैं. पहले वेटिंग फॉर गोडॉट की बात करते हैं. वेटिंग फॉर गोडॉट इज अ प्ले बाय सैमुअल बेकेट इन विच 2 कैरेक्टर्स व्लादिमीर एंड एस्ट्रागॉन engage in a variety of discussions and encounter while waiting for Godot who never arrives. 1953 का प्ले है ये. वेटिंग फॉर गोडॉट का स्टाइल थोड़ा सा डिस्टिंक्टिव है. It is famous for the distinctive kind of structure. Its structure is circular. It has no logical exposition or resolution. The situation is usually static. Nothing changes, nothing is solved, for there is no solution to the problem of man in the hopeless world. It deviates from traditional episodic structure, rise and fall of the character. Something like that is not there. Beckett here rejects the received logic of form and conventional structure, so that both form and content support the representation of what may be called part of absurd theatre. तो absurd theatre के बारे में भी आपको थोड़ा सा डिटेल में पता होना चाहिए while answering this particular question. Next question is about Pygmalion. Comment on the elements of romance and comedy in Pygmalion by Shaw. Pygmalion is a play by G.B. Shaw, George Bernard Shaw, named after a Greek mythological figure. The play Pygmalion by Shaw belongs to the genre of romanticism, which composed most of the mid to end of 19th century literary scenes. Without any doubt, this play influenced the way romantic comedies are viewed. By making use of illusion and by borrowing from other texts, it successfully challenged the conventions of romantic comedy. As a result, many more plays and movies started including in this unconventional ending to the plots. Pygmalion being a romantic play is the fact that Pygmalion does not only center about something other than the specific relationship between Eliza and Higgins, but it also has no definitive ending between them, and the audience is forced to make their own conclusions as to what happened between them. अब बात करते हैं कॉमेडी से रिलेटेड. Comedies, on the other hand, depict a light-hearted nature, and the mood portrayed and the theme set generally leaves the audience in a happier state. Pygmalion does not exactly have the happiest of the endings, even if no main characters commit suicide due to intolerable grief. कम से कम इतना तो कह ही सकते हैं कि किसी कैरेक्टर के साथ कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा गलत नहीं हुआ. So, of course, many of the lines in Pygmalion are certainly enjoyable too. Pygmalion, as a comedy of ideas, is concerned with manners and class. It is a criticism of social barriers and class distinctions, and it supports the idea of equal opportunities of wealth and education for all, regardless of class and gender. This question है हमारा Look Back in Anger के बारे में. Look Back in Anger presents the conflicts of post-war youth. Critically comment. Look Back in Anger 1956 का एक realist play है written by John Osborne, and it focuses on the life and marital struggles of an intelligent and educated but disaffected person, Jimmy Potter, जो कि represent करता है पूरे dissatisfied youth को basically उस वक्त के. A published description of Osborne as an angry young man was extended to apply to an entire generation of dissatisfied young British writers who identified with the lower classes and viewed the upper class in established political institutions with disdain. सिस्टम के खिलाफ इन लोगों के पास बहुत नफरत थी. इन लोगों के दिलों में काफ़ी नफरत थी सिस्टम के अगेंस्ट, पॉलिटिक्स के अगेंस्ट, हाई क्लास के अगेंस्ट, एंड दैट डिस्डेन, दैट हेट्रेड हैज़ बीन शोन in form of Jimmy Potter in Look Back in Anger. Although the form of the play was not revolutionary completely, ऐसे नहीं है कि Jimmy Potter एक revolutionary character है, its content was unexpected. In the play, we can see 20 to 30 years olds of Great Britain who had not participated in the World War but are dissatisfied as per the aftermath. Jimmy Potter is a self-portrait of Osborne, an educated young man in post-World War II England. An educated, jobless, frustrated Jimmy is trying to survive in the society, but the lack of resources after World War II prevented him from making full use of his academic achievements. World War II के बाद हुआ क्या था, ये बात करते हैं. After World War II, many English people were not satisfied because they had expected a better change in the society. सबने सोचा कि इतने ग्रैंड लेवल पर युद्ध हुआ है, वर्ल्ड वॉर हुई है, तो इसका तो कुछ ना कुछ पॉजिटिव इफेक्ट आना चाहिए ना. ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, पीपल वर नॉट गेटिंग व्हाट दे डिजर्व. सो दैट फील बेसिकली हैज बीन शोन इन लुक बैक इन एंगर. Next question is a combined question for the dramas. Trace the rise of Elizabethan tragedy and comedy from conventions available to Renaissance dramatists. During the Elizabethan age, tragedy and comedy, both kind of genres developed. The Renaissance gave rise to a growing interest in man as presented in classical drama, which had examples of both comedy and tragedy, and it is a period making the transition from the medieval to the modern world. Renaissance plays no longer dealt with religious subjects. The first great English dramatist before Shakespeare to turn away from allegorical types as characters and to focus on the individual was Christopher Marlowe. उनकी tragedies, Tamburlaine the Great, Jew of Malta, सब violence से भरी हुई हैं. They deal with the ambition and struggle for power of an individual. So does the tragical history of life and death of Dr. Faustus, जिसको कि हम शॉर्ट में डॉक्टर फॉस्टर्स भी कहते हैं. इट इज बेस्ड ऑन द वेल नोन स्टोरी ऑफ अ मैन हु सोल्ड हिज सोल टू द डेविल इन ऑर्डर टू गेन पावर एंड wealth in the life. It can be considered a great tragedy. Another writer to mention here is the most famous William Shakespeare, who wrote more than 30 plays. Most famous are his tragedies Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, and his comedies A Midsummer Night's Dream, जो कि आपके सिलेबस का ही पार्ट है, Measure for Measure, As You Like It. आप लोगों को एलिजाबेथन एरा के बारे में भी थोड़ा लिखना पड़ेगा. द पीरियड बिगेन एट द कमेंसमेंट ऑफ द रूल ऑफ क्वीन एलिजाबेथ इन 1558, दैट इज फॉर श्योर. But the ending date is not as definite. Some consider the age to have ended at the Queen's death, जो कि 1603 में हुई थी, and whereas others place the end of Elizabethan drama at the closing of theatres, जो कि 1642 में पुरितन्स ने करवाए थे, including William Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, Christopher Marlowe. These playwrights wrote play that can be called tragedy or comedy. आप इनके plays के examples दे सकते हैं. Elizabethan tragedy dealt with heroic themes, usually centering on a great personality who is destroyed by his own passion and ambition, and the comedies often satirize the follies of the society. So here comes the last question, जिसमें कि आपको 4 ऑप्शंस दी गई हैं और किसी 2 पर आपको 200 वर्ड्स में नोट लिखने हैं, 200 वर्ड्स ईच. देखते हैं इन 4 ऑप्शंस को. बॉटम एंड द वर्किंग क्लास, थॉमस पिकेट एज अ मार्टर, existentialist theatre and play within the play. सबसे पहले बात करेंगे बॉटम एंड द वर्किंग क्लास की, जिसके बारे में हम ऑलरेडी बात कर भी चुके हैं. बॉटम अ कैरेक्टर फ्रॉम मिडसमर नाइट्स ड्रीम. बॉटम इज अ वीवर एंड वन ऑफ द एथेनियन क्राफ्ट्समैन who are referred to as mechanicals. The mechanicals are 6 characters in A Midsummer Night's Dream who perform the play within play, Pyramus and Thisbe. इसके बाद बात करते हैं थॉमस बिकेट एज अ मार्टर. थॉमस बिकेट was immediately hailed as a martyr and canonized in 1173, after which his shrine in Canterbury Cathedral became the most important center of pilgrimage in England, with relics associated with him distributed to churches throughout Europe, जिसका जिक्र हमने द कैंटरबरी टेल्स में भी पढ़ा है. Murder in the Cathedral is a verse drama by T.S. Eliot, first performed in 1935. ये नोट कर लीजिएगा आप. That portrays the assassination of Bishop Thomas Becket in Canterbury Cathedral during the rule of Henry II, 1170. The action occurs between 2 and 29 December 1170, which chronicles the day leading up to the martyrdom of Thomas Becket following his absence of 7 years in France. Becket's internal struggle and martyrdom is a central focus of the play. ऑप्शन नंबर सी, एग्जिस्टेंशियलिस्ट थिएटर, जिसका कि वेटिंग फॉर गॉडॉट बाय सैमुअल बेकेट बहुत ही अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है. अ ग्रेट एग्जाम्पल ऑफ एग्जिस्टेंशियलिस्ट प्ले वेयर 2 men वेटिंग फॉर अ कंपेनियन गॉडॉट हु नेवर अराइव्स. एग्जिस्टेंशियलिज्म क्या होता है ये समझते हैं पहले. इट इज अ फिलॉसफी दैट एम्फेसाइजेस द यूनिकनेस and isolation of the individual experience. It can be called a struggle to survive. हर individual की survive करने की अपनी एक struggle होती है, and that struggle when represented in dramas, it is called existentialism drama. कुछ फीचर्स होते हैं इस तरीके के प्लेस में. वन कैन बी कॉल्ड फ्यूटिलिटी, मतलब फाइनल कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं मिलता हमें. ह्यूमैनिटीज यूजलेस स्ट्रगल अगेंस्ट फेट, इनएडिक्वेसी ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, यूज ऑफ वेरी स्मॉल टॉक्स, lack of definite plot structure. All of these are found profoundly in Waiting for Godot. And the last one, option number D, play within the play. A story within a story, also referred to as an embedded narrative, एक literary device है in which a character within a story becomes the narrator of a second story. Essentially, we get to see a play within play when the characters of the play we are watching becomes the actor and audience members of a play within the play. हैमलेट में जो मर्डर ऑफ गोंजेगो है, जिसको कि हैमलेट ने माउस ट्रैप का नाम दिया, बहुत ही अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है इसका. दिस प्ले विद इन प्ले नॉट ओनली हेल्प्स हैमलेट टू जज क्लॉडियस गिल्ट बट ऑल्सो एक्ट्स एज अ spur for his own revenge, as a kick for his own revenge. It shows him the murder that was done to his father and the murder that could be done by his uncle. प्ले विद इन प्ले का एक और एग्जाम्पल हमें देखने को मिलता है अ मिडसमर नाइट्स ड्रीम में. A Midsummer Night's Dream, the craftsman, the mechanicals play Pyramus and Thisbe, also perfect example of play within play. So here we reach to the end. Please study thoroughly. Do not forget to share and subscribe the channel. Keep studying, stay in good health, and let us pray that we are relieved from this pandemic soon. Best of luck for your exams.